engineers, the architects, the contractors, the civil contractors, HVAC contractors, plumbing contractors, or any sort of the contractors. All are really I am very much grateful and thankful to all of you, those who subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share my channel to the engineers in your contact, so that these engineers can also get some technical and practical knowledge out of my lectures. The link of my YouTube channel is in bottom of slide number 1. Please click on that and see my previous lectures also. You will get on that link of YouTube channel. So I am once again thankful to everyone who subscribed my channel, liked my channel, and shared my channel. If you haven't, please subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share my channel to the engineers in your contact. Thank you very much. Dear engineers, dear architects, the junior engineers, the junior architects, the contractors, and other viewers, I would like to once again introduce myself, because there are so many new viewers, new engineers, new architects, which are reviewing my YouTube channel and my lectures, and hopefully they are being benefited. Even the clients are reviewing my lectures, and I am getting some remarks and comments from them. So in this slide number 2, I have introduced myself. You can go through this slide and you can understand my name, the background, the professional experience, role in different capacities of civil engineers, which I will highlight that I've been working in Sultanate of Oman for more than 36 years, and at Pakistan more than 20 years. So most of the life of my career was spent at Sultanate of Oman. So this is my brief introduction. Thank you. Dear viewers, in this slide, I would like to highlight the achievement which I got from my experience and my advice to the engineers, the junior architects, and the contractors, the engineers working with the contractors. I got the opportunity to deliver lectures at Sultanate of Oman with the students of engineering college of Sultan Qaboos University at Muscat, Oman. Also, I attended one seminar at Niswa University with the topic of the failure of a construction project and the reasons of the failure of a construction project. Now, my advice to the junior architects and junior engineers, those who joined the construction field recently, that in addition to obtaining the necessary qualifications such as diploma, degree, even master's degree in your field of engineering, it is necessary to gain technical and practical knowledge from your colleagues, from your seniors, even from your workers. Because while I was working in this field from the start of my career, I always used to ask the questions to learn the new technology and new methodologies of working at construction industry and at construction project. So you must attain these technical and practical knowledge from your colleagues, from the engineer, from your bosses, from the even workers, so that you can you can handle the projects nicely and complete the project satisfactorily. Thank you very much. Dear engineers, the architects, and the contractors, now we are at slide where we will discuss about the definition of plaster. What is plaster actually in terms of technical knowledge? Plaster is a building material used for protection of decorative coating of walls and ceiling of a building, and for also the moldings and castings decorative elements. Usually plaster means a material used for interior buildings, while the render is called commonly refers to the external applications of the buildings. A soft mixture of sand and cement and sometimes lime with water for spreading of wall, ceiling or other structure to form a smooth, hard surface. When it dries up, rendering is the process of covering outside wall of the building with protective layer of mortar, which is cement, sand, or sometimes lime and water. It's used to make the building look better and to protect it from the weather and fire and temperature effects also. So this is the definition of plaster. You can go through the other slides also. In these slides we will discuss about the methodology, properties and necessity of plaster. Dear viewers, in this slide we will discuss about who invented plaster. The earliest plaster known to us were lime based around 7500 BC. The people of An Ghazal in Jordan used lime mixed with unheated crushed limestone to make plaster, which was used on a large scale for covering their walls, floors, heaters, and huts and their houses. Plaster is a pasty composition as of lime or gypsum, water, and sand that that when hardens on drying is used for coating walls, ceilings, and partitions. Plastering is one of the most ancient building technique which was used in earlier days. This slide we'll discuss about the type of plaster in which we will see what is how many types of plaster are there. So there are three types of plasters in this chapter and in this slide: the lime plaster, gypsum plaster and cement plaster. So we will briefly discuss one by one. The lime plaster is a mixture of calcium hydroxide and sand or other inert, inert fillers. Carbon dioxide in atmosphere causes the plaster to set by transforming the calcium hydroxide into calcium carbonate. Limestone whitewash is based on the same chemistry. When we are doing the whitewash, that is in Urdu we call it as chuna. So this is the brief description of the lime plaster. Now we'll see the gypsum plaster. Gypsum plaster is the heat resistant plaster and to be used in building for coating walls and chimney breasts. Its purpose is to replace conventional gypsum plasters in case of where the temperature can get too high for gypsum plaster to stay on the walls. Heat resistant plaster should be used in cases where the wall is likely to exceed temperature by 50 degrees centigrade. So gypsum plaster is useful only with the places where the walls or ceilings are getting higher temperatures. Now we are going to discuss about the cement sand plaster. Cement sand plaster is a mixture of suitable plaster, sand, portable cement and water, which is normally applied to masonry, interior and exterior to achieve a smooth surface. Interior surface sometimes receives a final layer of gypsum plaster. Walls constituted with stock bricks normally plastered, which face the bricks walls are not plastered. So cement sand plaster is to be done on walls and ceiling normally, and we are to viewers in this slide also we will discuss about the type of plaster. uh, there are different type of plasters: clay plaster, stucco plaster and Venetian plaster. So we will discuss one by one. Clay plaster is a natural product made from the clay, sand and sometimes straws. It is eco-frequently and can be applied to both interior and exterior walls so that the sound should not be transferred from one wall to the other. Uses of clay plaster are environmentally sustainable building, eco-friendly and constructions and construction of the building. These are used. So, stucco plaster is a form of plaster made from cement, sand, and lime, usually applied to exterior walls for the texture finishes. The uses of the exterior decorative finishes, especially for Mediterranean, Spanish, or contemporary style homes. Uses of plaster, this type of plaster is luxury interiors, features, walls, and ornates. Venetian plaster. Venetian plaster is a type of polished plaster used to finish the walls and ceilings. It is made from the mixture of plaster made from the marble dust and other minerals. We have to study how to make this plaster. Venetian plaster is applied in thin layer which spatula or trowel. The layers are then burnished to create a smooth polished surface. Venetian plaster can be tinted with natural synthetic colors. So these are the qualities and uses of the Venetian plaster. We will go through other slides now. In this slide, we'll discuss about the necessity of the plaster, which is very important to be discussed. The necessity of plaster as concerned is the plastering is a necessary step in construction because it protects the and enhance the appearance of walls and ceilings. It can also be used to create decorative molding. Surface smoothing. Plaster creates a smooth and even surface on walls and ceilings. It covers up irregularities, imperfections, or rough areas from brick, blocks, or concrete, making the surface ready for painting of walls and or tiling. Durability of this plaster is provided a durable and hard wearing surface. It helps protect the underlying walls and structures from damage due to the moisture, physical wear and tear, and environmental factors. So this plaster is also aesthetically appealing. Plaster finishes can enhance the appearance of interior surface and spaces. They can be textured, colored, or patterned or match the desired surface. Fire resistance also. The plaster has the resistance property and can show the spread of flames, improving the overall fire safety of the building. Insulation also. This is one of the insulation components of is the plaster. Plaster can help improve thermal and sound insulation when applied properly. Moisture control also is one of the quality of the plaster when applied with appropriate techniques. Plaster can help control moisture, preventing dampness from entering the interior surface and causing damages. So these are the most important qualities of the plaster. Dear engineers and the architects and whoever wants to learn the methodology of plaster, I would like to highlight few points only in this methodology of plaster. First of all, we have to clean the surface and area of the plaster to be done. We have to remove all the furniture, cover floors to protect, and protective sheet is to be applied to the floors so that the plaster should not stick while falling from the walls and the ceilings. Walls are Walls and ceilings should be cleaned to remove dust, dirt, grease, and any loose materials. Scrap of old paint or plaster from the walls or ceiling using a scraper or wire brush. If the surface is porous, for example bricks, concrete, apply a bonding agent to improve the adhesion of the plaster. Use a plumb line and sprit level to ensure the walls are vertical and ceiling is leveled. Wash the surface by sprinkling water on blocks, masonry, and other surfaces. Now mix the plaster continents. Mix the plaster continents as specified normally in 1:4 cement and sand proportions is used for the plaster. Taking care of keeping the mortar and prepare the mortar of that much quantity which can be used without its cement setting time. So this is very important. Viewers, now we are going to discuss about the methodology in which we will discuss about application of the of layers of plaster in 2 or 3 layers, including the base coat or rough coat. The base coat or rough coat is applied with very thin layer of cement and water mixed, and it is to be sprayed with the tyrolene machine or by spats or so this layer will give you a good grip, better grip for the subsequent layers. Now, after applying this and let it dry, you have to apply the first coat or base coat. First, the first coat and base coat is the same way, but it is cement, sand, and water mixed with each other in 1:4 ratio or 1:3 ratio. Means 1:4 means that one cement and 4 part of the sand. So this mortar is to be kept considered and controlled of the quality that it can be used before the setting time of the cement. So the first coat is applied and leveled. Then the second coat is applied in the same way after drying of the first coat. And after that, you have to apply the final coat and level it and make it smooth and remove the bumps and the, the vacuums or uh, any undulations in plaster. So this is the procedure and methodology discussed in brief about the application of the plaster. Dear viewers, in this slide we will discuss about the remaining few points of the methodology of plaster. In this slide we will discuss about the leveling of the plaster and polishing of the plaster. When the plaster is finished, you have to, I mean the final layer is completed and dried, you have to do the polishing of the plaster so that it can become the polished surface and achieve the glass like finish. But in some cases we have to make the rough surface, little bit rough surface, for the different type of paints to give a better balm. Dampen the surface slightly with a sponge or cloth to keep the surface moist but not wet. Yeah, I mean the moist, it should not be much moist or much wet. It should not be much dried also. Use a trowel and floor to polish the surface in circular or back and forth motions. This will smooth only any remaining small imperfections and give the plaster a glossy surface. Now the sanding is done so that once the plaster has dried completely, lightly sand the surface with fine sandpaper to remove any bumps or imperfections. Now, plaster's methodology is completed. I mean the application of the plaster is completed. You have to do the curing of the plaster. This is very important and essential issue to enhance the perfect plaster and durable plaster. After completion of the plaster and drying in 24 hours or as per the weather conditions, you have to do the curing of the plaster for at least 7 days. Dear viewers, we have to consider additional considerations for plaster is completed, then we have to take care of different issues, like we have to do we have to check that the temperature is under control and humidity is also under control. These factors are very necessary that the drying time of the plaster is better in better climatic conditions. So it is important to apply the plaster in conditions when it is suitable to dry the plaster in time. Tools which are the tools which are going to use are to be included in list and to be procured in advance when the plaster process is to be started. The trowel, the floor, the brushes, the spades, the trolleys, wheelbarrows, and all other important tools are to be arranged. Safety care is to be taken for the workers, because the workers while working they must be having the PPR, the gloves, the spectacles, safety spectacles, and the safety shoes. So all these things are to be protected for the protection of the workers, as well as to enhance a good quality plaster. Thank you very, very much.